Hello and good evening. First, I would like to start off with my first cultural experience. Back in, I think this had to be like 2009, somewhere up in there. I walked into a Denny's restaurant. I was living this time in Dallas, Texas. When I walked into the restaurant, there was a young white waiter. There were other people ahead of me. They were white as well, and I was behind them. And there were also some white people behind me as well. And I sat there and, waited my turn. She seated the white people in front of me. She seated the white people behind me. And as more people were coming, other white people behind me, she set them as well. Finally, after no one was behind me, she proceeded to seat me. I really felt bad about the situation. I didn't go get a manager or anything like that. And I'm normally the type of person, I don't say, oh, well, I'm going to get your manager. I'm a call and try to have you, scold or do anything to you. I just went to the table and got I ate my food and I left. I found out like about maybe a year later that they had a lawsuit that was filed against them for discrimination. I was notified, and I did take part in the lawsuit. Um, I did receive a small um, token. I think it was a couple of $100, but that was my first incident with discrimination. And then shortly after that, back in 2016, by this time I was living in Killeen, Texas. Um, I was driving, and I can't recall if I was coming from school or not, but um, I was driving, I was checking my messages on my phone. So I had my phone to my ear. I didn't have my earbuds in at the time. And a young white driver in the lane next to me, she blowed at me and she was like, "You need to hang up your phone. You need to hang up your phone." And after checking the message, I was talking to my mom because my parents are elderly. They're in Louisiana. And so she was like, she was blowing, "You need to hang up your phone." And I'm saying to myself, what gives you the right to think you can tell me to get off my phone? And immediately I just got mad. I felt like she felt she was entitled to think you can tell me what to do. And I wasn't driving fast. I wasn't swerving over in another lane. I wasn't a danger to anyone around me. And I'm like, why would you even do that? So that was a second bad experience that I had because I felt like she felt she was entitled to do so because she was white. Um, so of course that rubbed me very wrong. Um, and also just going through another point I wanted to bring up when listening to Dr. Martin on the YouTube videos. Um, the passage where, and I mentioned it in my essay, "You're doing it the wrong way." And how she starts off um, in reference to, she says, a lot of the things that they learn, she feels is a waste of time. She says, according to Dr. Sue, I think one of the authors of our books, it's best to engage with people versus getting caught up in so much the technical terms of everything with the certifications, and of course we know they are needed. They are. So I'm not saying, she wasn't saying, well, you don't have to do them, but she's saying that she said a quote from Dr. Seuss saying, you will never know a person's cultural background entirely in one person's lifetime. And so she was saying it's best to engage with a person. You have to get to learn to know a person. Um, and she was saying that a lot of African Americans are misdiagnosed just due to the history um, of African Americans, of black people. She also brought out a point of children, how we have to deal with, how young children have to deal with like hair discrimination, um, how some of them have to go to school, and they have anxiety just from going to school. I know when I was in school, of course, 30, 40 years ago, I loved school. I didn't have to worry about, now that I've decided to go natural with my hair, am I going to get called to the office? Am I going to get sent home? And that's anxiety. And somebody could say, oh, she might need to be on some meds. She is, and per what Dr. Martin was saying, is children as young as 5 years old have been dealing with this issue because of their hair. And so we just have to continue to, pray and ask God, because we know we're living in a world that is filled with all kind of things. And the devil would have us think that, okay, this is another problem, this is another problem, and we get so bungled down and just so scared and so fearful. But we do know from the word, it says perfect love cast out fear, and we know God is love, and we know before we do anything that we can take it to God in prayer. And so, because he knows everything, he controls everything, and at the end of the day, we know that he has our best interests at heart. So I will end this video. I've gone a little bit over 5 minutes, but I just want to leave with this thought that without God, we have nothing. With him, we have everything that we need. Thank you.